Welcome to this support video that forms part of the Parent Carer Programme supporting anxious youth. My name is Warren Matofsky. I'm one of the CAMHS psychologists.
And I'm Ruth Sequeira from the East Sussex Primary Mental Health Work team.
And in this video, we're going to be talking about support and some of the ideas about how we can respond rather than react to youth anxiety.
So yeah, looking at this kind of dilemma around how do I help when you're faced with a young person who is extremely anxious. So yeah, the experience of anxiety is distressing for everyone, and will trigger things in you as a parent because somebody you love is in distress. So yeah, can kind of get stuck in this dilemma of how much do I kind of just follow that parental instinct of kind of sort of protecting them from feeling distress, so looking after them and helping them feel better, and how much do I show them that they'll be fine and tell them to get on with things.
So in terms of responding to anxiety, parents often ask, which message should I give? Should I show my child that I understand them, I understand their distress is real, help them make it go away? Or should I show confidence in their ability to cope and steer them toward a bit more coping, even if they feel a bit of discomfort? And often these messages can get divided amongst members of the family or one member of the family at different times. So sometimes parents that are drawn towards being understanding all the time, helping the child cope, listening for hours, giving reassurance, being present, doing things for them, they can become exhausted and the understanding can tip over into kind of being demanding, and then parents can find themselves kind of feeling guilty. The other dynamic we often hear about in families where there's co-parents or multiple carers is that the parent or carer that shows the understanding side can feel their approach is best. The parent that feels the child has to get on with it and is very good at the confidence message feels their approach is best. And then there can end up being conflict within the family about this. But the message in this film and in this program is that both messages are needed. Everyone needs to find out ways of showing how they can show understanding and also ways of how they can show confidence in their child's ability to cope.
And sorry, just to add in there, Warren, I think something else that can happen is that sometimes these kind of two approaches can get divided between schools and parents, families as well. So schools can sometimes have that. They just need to get in. They just need to kind of get on with things, and then parents can feel more protective, and so that battle can sometimes cause each side to go to a bit more of a sort of extreme position in no, I definitely need to protect them, or no, they just need to get on with things. And sometimes even within the person, you can really kind of sort of flip between those extremes. So you can kind of, as a parent, kind of show a lot of understanding, a lot of care, and trying to really let your child know it's okay. And then at some point, you can reach the end of your tether in terms of that, and kind of almost flip to the opposite extreme and have this like, oh, you just need to get on with things, what's wrong with you, kind of, and I know I can recognize that within myself as a parent, that I can kind of flip between those extremes at times. And in the same way, that kind of really sort of like, you can do this, come on, you can do it. And then when the child sometimes then ups their distress, then that as a parent you can get that like, oh god, maybe I pushed it too far, and then you can go to this really kind of like, it's okay, just stay here, you don't need to do that. And so yeah, then you're kind of flipping to that other side in terms of the understanding as well. So it's really good to be aware of that within yourself as well.
And so, yeah, the kind of support we're talking about in this video is a balance between showing understanding and showing confidence. And as you were saying there, Ruth, our own emotions can make that really hard at times, as can our child's distress. So this understanding message is about, I accept you are afraid and see that it's real, but also how we show confidence through our words and actions, how we can show I have faith in your ability to cope and believe you can tolerate what's needed to get on. We'll get through this together. But this is tough because parents can often be, sorry, you go, Ruth.
So yeah, so we kind of get into these sort of protective and demanding roles. So when parents or carers only take on the role of accepting the child's fear, reassuring them, helping them avoid that anxiety, that's when we're really taking on that protective role. And then when parent carers only expect their child to act bravely, get on with it without recognizing the difficulty or accepting that the process is gradual, that's the demanding role. So yeah, what we're looking for is a balance between the two. And stress really increases the chances of these responses. So yeah, the increased stress levels for the parent, which will be sort of triggered by the things that are going on with the young person, often will push you kind of into a more extreme level of one of those roles.
And these roles bring up particular thoughts for parents, carers, and other helpers. Excuse me. And you might want to think, do I recognize any of these from my own mind? So these sort of demanding thoughts, when our child is highly distressed and anxious, we might be thinking, oh, it's not frightening. I'm feeling all right. So it must be all right. Or don't be ridiculous. It's not dangerous. Or you might be thinking, oh, just for heaven's sake, do it. Everyone else just gets on with it. As parents and helpers, we might also have these protective thoughts. Oh my gosh, they can't handle stress. I need to do something right now, otherwise it'll be traumatizing for them. Or it's my job to protect them from all of this. Again, being stressed increases the chances that we might have these thoughts.
So we're looking at shifting to support. So we might have that that kind of more demanding thought of it's not frightening, and looking at this being shifted to it scared you, so that recognition of the emotion there, and how difficult it is for the young person. But I'm sure you'll be okay. So that kind of confidence in the ability of the young person to cope. So moving from she can't handle stress to it's hard for her, but she can learn to manage it. And instead of I need to protect him, that the kind of view it's my job to prepare him for dealing with challenges in life.
So the idea is about finding balance, how we can get across the understanding message, but also how we can get across the confidence message. And in this program, we talk about not just using words, and sometimes as parents we become over dependent on language in talking through this. We can show through our actions, because actions can speak 1,000 words. Sometimes if we try and show it with words, then the child might get involved in a debate or kind of argument about the kind of support we're offering. But it's really about trying to find a balance between those two messages. And in the materials that you will look at after this support video, there's some suggestions there from Seattle Children's Hospital about how we can show this support.
So looking at supporting ourselves to move to this supportive approach. So yeah, looking after yourself is really important. So anxiety is contagious. So when your young person is feeling anxiety, that is likely to trigger reaction in you as a parent, and quite often that is an anxious reaction for yourself, because your child being anxious, it will register within you as a threat at times. So really managing your own emotions first. So when we're in that anxious state ourselves, it's really difficult to kind of be responsive. We will be more reactive. So delaying the response and taking a pause can just be really helpful in just managing your own emotions first and supporting you to respond in a way that you want to.
So we're now coming towards the end of this support video. We hope you found it helpful. I look forward to talking through the ideas with you in the video sessions.